No, no. I'm high on life.
Yeah. Me too.
I'm just fucking
Me
high on
three.
life.
Too.
Me 3.
Welcome to Cue the Mic. I'm Darren Worth.
And I'm Randy Twyford.
And I'm Emma Derflinger. This is episode 53.
Don't you click?
For
No.
everybody that's listening, you kind of missed it, but Randy and I'm a long-time believer in these click magic cheater glasses. And so, because they're always right here, I hang them around and they're always clicking. And I
Magnets
love them.
in the middle. Magnets in
My
the middle.
wife, my wife just absolutely hates them. Right? But they
nerdy
are
as
the
hell.
handiest thing because they're always right around my neck. Right?
Yeah,
And
and-
so
Right.
Randy and I have the click.
He sold me on
Darren's
the
like
idea
notorious.
of the clicks.
I
He
sold
sold
He
me
me
was
on
on-
the
notorious for just leaving readers around. Like I had a pair in my office for when
know.
he needed them. Like he just would
And you
leave
know
them
what?
everywhere.
You know how many readers I've bought in the last year?
One.
One.
Exactly.
It's great ASMR for our listeners.
Yeah.
Okay.
Click on.
Click
So
on.
what's going
click
on, Randy? What happened in your week?
Well, we were food trucking, mother trucking. Out, did a lot of catering. So had a huge catering on Monday, I guess, of last week. And got that all done. Did it for Illinois College. We do quite a bit for Illinois College. Did an event for food truck for Illinois College. Did an event yesterday for City of Springfield for Earth Awareness Day, kind of becoming more earth-orientated type person. So
Did you
You
use earth friendly?
No, fuck
Stuff?
no, you use
Fuck no.
styrofoam.
How much-
Fuck no, styrofoam. That's what landfills are for.
So nothing resonated. Nothing clicked. Got it. Okay.
Was everybody
So,
wearing masks?
Huh?
Randy? Everybody wearing masks around on Earth
Come
Day?
on. Don't.
Well, they wanted to. And somebody with the city was
Jeez.
passing out pussy willow trees. You know, these little twigs. It seems like you could just whip somebody. When you're a kid and you got your ass beat with somebody went out and got a switch off the tree. That's what these look like. And people were going around with them, and it's like, do you really think those fuckers are going to grow? You know, you're going to go home, stick them in the dirt, throw a cup of water on them, and then within the week, the squirrels will have it chewed up and taken off as a bedding or something. But it's a thought that counts. It's a thought that counts.
It's the thought that counts, right?
Yeah. So we had a nice week coming up. Food truck is rocking and rolling.
Rocking and rolling.
That's good.
So,
And we're trying to figure out how to start ours.
It's already
well-
April. You haven't started?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Oh no, it's out. It's been going out a couple weekends just at the ball tournaments, like we do. But I'm like, and I understand this week was kind of crappy, 50 degrees and raining and bullshit, and you're not going to make any money. But kind of had a little heart to heart with the food truck guy the other day, saying, "Hey, I'm planning on getting this thing out. It was 82 degrees last week, and everybody's got their food truck out. Where are we? Barked against the fence." Yeah,
that's the hell of it.
If I could find a cliff, it might go off the cliff.
Well, that's the hell of it is this time of year with the weather. I mean, there's days I'm wearing my shorts out with the truck and stuff and a t-shirt, and then you'll go. We had an event, and I know we should have done better there, but I'm sure it was just because people were out. It didn't come out because it was cold and it was windy. I think the wind affects the food trucking thing, but found out a guy in Jacksonville is building a food truck park. actually.
Ooh,
And so
nice.
got one of the Mexican trucks already on it, and still doing kind of in the construction phase of it and stuff. And he's done some things that he's done a little research with it, but I'm meeting with him on Tuesday to do a little more research and stuff. So that might be an interesting thought. He's got to have each location has got a 30, 50, and 20 amp utilities, amp electrical service, and then sewer and water. He's looking for more permanent people, to move in there and just be permanent.
Right. Mm-hmm. So the question is, what's the draw? Is there businesses real close, or what's? I sometimes think about that because I was having the conversation actually last weekend with our food truck guy about, he came from the Northwest. He come from Oregon, and food trucks out there sit. A different food truck sits on the same street corner every single day.
Right.
And the truck really never moves. You just transport food out to the truck.
Right.
And we don't see it. We see that with taco trucks here. We really don't see it.
There's a
anything
ton on the
else,
south side.
But it's like, if you're in the same place, can you really draw the revenue that you want to draw on a daily basis? And I'm talking about.
I think you can.
Yeah.
You think you could hit, let's say $1,000 is a bogey for every day. Do you think you could hit $1,000 a day, 5 days a week out of the same location?
Yeah.
Yes.
I do.
Yeah.
You
because
do.
Well, and especially during the nice weather, like, getting into the summertime, because he's got concrete, he's got pads poured, he's got tables, umbrellas, everything. Now, there's going to be days it's going to suck because of weather. He's going to put in bathrooms and stuff like that. But the biggest thing is, I used to have the idea I didn't really want to go someplace with another food truck because I felt like I was going to lose business. I was losing business then, but it's just the opposite. You gain business because if you're at someplace and somebody goes, well, I want to go, you're in an office and where are we going for lunch today? I'm going to go down and get some barbecue. I don't like barbecue. But hell, there's a Mexican food truck there, so I can get Mexican and stuff. So I found when we do some street side vending, we've done some stuff with other trucks, pizza truck more importantly, and they do calzones and Bosco sticks and stuff like that. And I feel like it boosts our business just because people have the diversity of going. Do you like that word there, diversity? Throw it in there.
Yeah.
That they can go to multiple places.
Well, and I don't disagree with that. I'm just trying to think about the sheer volume of people.
Well,
so let's say you got and I'm a math guy, right? But let's say you can get a $12 ticket, right?
Right.
If I want to do $1,000 divided by a $12 ticket, that means I have to do 83 people. Okay. So if there's 4 food trucks in that park,
right,
you got to do 83 times 4. Now you need 333 people in the park every day.
Well, that might be a stretch, especially in a town the size of Jacksonville.
That's where the numbers start to fall apart a little bit. Now, if you're treating it, like somewhere clear out on the west side of Des Moines where you can get into a place that that you're drawing from all these local businesses in this big metro area, it may work, but you can't sit there all day long. You need to kind of be there between 10 and 2, and then,
Well, and that's a good example is Wednesday, we're going to be at the Circle K in Jacksonville, our location we always go to. And labor being a scarcity, it's kind of fallen into place because we'll do business from, we open at 11 till 12:30, 1 o'clock, and it won't be hammer busy. I mean, it's just people coming by getting stuff for lunch and this and that. But from 1 o'clock till 3:30, 4 o'clock, we won't do jack shit. Matter of fact, I got my social media people coming by, and we're going to shoot some videos and stuff like that because I know we'll have time. And then starting at 4 o'clock, from 4 to 6, we'll do 70% of our business for the day in that time period. So I cut my labor back down. I don't need 3 guys in the truck during that time period. And but yeah, and I think that would be the thing. Here's my other thought of it is if you're going to have your truck sitting there 5 days a week and stuff, why don't you just open up a restaurant?
Well,
I don't know.
yeah, but I mean, maybe let's take for instance that West Des Moines thing. I mean, there's a lot more moving parts in a restaurant than there is a food truck.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but it's still you're locked into one location 5 days a week. I've already told the guy I'm not interested in being there permanent, or that. I'm using it. I'm going to look at it as doing a fill-in day. Say we got a Friday, we don't have anything going on, because most of these corporate stuff, they don't want people on Fridays because people go home and and the
they don't have
hospitals.
meetings. That's a Monday and Friday are travel days.
And then and these hospitals, a lot of people are working the 4-day work weeks and stuff. Now, granted, that you still have sick people on the weekends, but a lot of people. You don't have as many people working in the hospitals. They're lighter staffed on Fridays, and I'm sure there's
so like that food truck in Jacksonville. Why don't you just open from 11 to 1 and leave the truck there, shut the door down, and come back at 4 o'clock and
you very well could.
Go screw around for 3 hours.
You very well could.
Right.
So that's more or less
doing any business, and yeah,
that's more or less what I'm going to do. Is we're going to shoot videos and stuff and do. Stuff for social media. So some of that to come.
I'm just trying to think.
Because a lot of trucks on the south side, they're all camped out. Like they have a spot that they park year round. And they all seem pretty successful for being small little food trucks.
But they got
but I think a lot of
but are they every let's say taco food truck that I drive by has one person there, whatever. I mean,
I think a lot of it depends on.
They're not turning $1,000 a day, and maybe they don't need to turn $1,000 a day.
Right.
See,
right.
I think a lot of it. You're right. It does depend on like time of day and also time of year. So in the winter, you don't see them open as much. But like I drove past one. There's one parked right off Army Post, in front of this. I don't know what the building is necessarily, but it was packed the other day. I drove past it 2 or 3 times, and it had a pretty consistent line the entire day.
Yeah, I think if we could get in, I was at Sam's Club yesterday on a Saturday.
Oh, Jesus!
You got Sam's Club, and they just put this brand new damn Hobby Lobby next to it.
Oh boy!
It was, and there's no restaurants within a mile of there.
Really?
I love Hobby Lobby.
And I'm like, God, person could probably make a killing, up there, or the problem is there's so many restaurants. But if you did the Menards and parked right outside the front door,
the Menards is be tough.
Hey, I'm gonna come in and get every contractor shows up at Menards at lunch to get supplies before they go to the job. Hey, I can do that. Hey, I'm gonna run in. Here's my order. I'll be back out. Grab your order. Boom, gone.
Well, and when I traveled out west a lot with and worked with Lowe's, there was and that's been several years ago. Even then, there was a lot of those hot dog wagons, wiener guys outside of those stores.
Wiener guys.
Well, it is. I mean,
why did you say it like
it
that?
is. I mean, in Florida, we have a great wiener guy outside our Home Depot.
Yeah, and they do hot dogs, hamburgers, and stuff like that. And I think they're pretty successful. Polish sausage. But they've only got one person, and they pull it in there in the morning with a car or pickup, minivan, and and they're it's pretty low overhead, so.
Yeah, low overhead. So maybe they don't need to. Maybe $200 is a successful day to them.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Just kind of what they need to make it work.
It's not to me in the food truck business. That $200 isn't worth turning the key for. If I can't turn $750, at least I don't even want to turn the key. What's the sense of screwing with it?
I agree. I'm the same way. So I just see this food truck park as far as my interest as it being a fill-in place, and a place to go on a Friday that we don't have anything. Now, the other thing is across from it is where the Jacksonville Soccer League all the kids, they have the big soccer all the soccer games and stuff for little kids and stuff. So
Right.
that would maybe be a good, decent place to be on a Saturday, you know.
Well, yeah, that's where our food truck is on a Saturday. Is at the
Right.
softball complex,
Okay.
and they just do
okay.
concessions.
Okay. This is just across the street, so.
Yeah.
So we'll know more after I talk to him, what he's thinking and kind of what my thinking is.
Yo, do you think he'd actually let you just pick a day? I feel like if he wants more permanent, he's going to want to fill that spot.
Well, not to sound like
You know
a
what I'm
prick
saying?
or anything, not to be a prick or anything, but if that's what he wants, he ain't having me.
I'll just.
Well, it is. What,
I mean, yeah.
I just, it's like, what's the draw to the, you know, because food truck weather's pretty, you know, in Iowa and Illinois, food truck weather, a lot different than Phoenix.
yes.
You know, Phoenix
Yeah.
food truck weather all the time. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's a little hotter, but year round you have that potential. Here, I mean, shit, we're just getting roared up.
Yeah, just
into
get into
April.
the decent weather.
Yeah,
You know,
get
so
5 or
April's
6 months
usually
out of a year.
half month. Then May, June, July, you kick ass, and then August, you know, gets hot and it goes back down again. September, you may do okay, but yeah, we got invited last night. Ragbri's going through Iowa, of course.
Oh,
well,
okay.
Ragbri always the
Yeah,
registers. It always goes through Iowa.
The
Huh.
only place it goes through.
For people that aren't from Iowa, it's the Register's annual Great Bike Ride across Iowa, Ragbri. And so, anyway, my
How many
friend
bikes
is
will they
the
have
actual,
of that? How many bikes will they have on that?
A ton.
right.
Like an
Zillion.
insane amount. Yeah.
Like 50,
Is it really that many?
100,000.
Oh, my gosh,
huge.
it's-
Oh, fuck
one of the
no.
biggest.
It ain't that.
No,
It's huge.
it is. It's one of the
It's
biggest things
huge.
in the state of Iowa. I
Right.
can get you a number.
But it's Iowa. So it doesn't take much.
Oh, no, people come from around the
all-
world.
they come from around. Yeah, there's
The
been
world.
there YouTubers do it just to say they've done it. Like you can find all sorts of people that have just tried Ragbri to try Ragbri because it's so popular.
So anyway,
Insane.
I got a friend that is St. Mary's is a little town south of Des Moines, and they're coming through St. Mary's, and it's the second stop of the day. So it's 18 miles into the route, and it's a breakfast town. They want to serve breakfast. She's like, "Hey, you want to bring the food truck down?" I said, "Yeah, I might want to serve breakfast. You know, we got a new little breakfast gig going on. We may, you know, do some breakfast spin."
Right.
You know, and I think $300 to set up for a 20-foot spot. So I'm going to need a little bit more than that. You know, so you're like, you know, $300. That means, you know, 10%, you know, at 10% of whatever your sales. And you could
Right.
probably, I don't know, it's not like you're in market, but you got to have a pretty good day to pay for that. $3,000 or whatever is 10%, right?
Right.
And not that you can't do that, but it's like, how do you know how much you're going to sell? There's just a lot of risk, and you don't want to miss the opportunity, but you don't want to over prep and have a lot of stuff unless it's something you're outside hashing. I mean, I might take Jar Phase out there because I could.
Do you think those
Make
would
up-
be?
I think.
I
those-
guess because they're sweet.
I think they're just sweet, and it's hot out, and you
That'd
could
be a
just
good
make
mover.
a ton and freeze them up, and you take them out there and you sell them. They're quick, and if you don't sell them, you take them right back, put them in the freezer because that's our process for serving them in the restaurant.
So you
And all
you
of a
could
sudden
take them
you
in.
got a month's worth of Jar Phase ready to go.
I did get the average. So there's a limit now because it was
Well,
this.
There's
such-
a limit on the amount of people
Amount
that
of-
can sign up, but people
Yeah, right.
go
Yeah.
without wristbands too.
Yeah. So they allow 8,500 annual riders, but
Okay.
that varies, obviously because like Darren said, people go, if without wristbands.
But last year from Ames to Des Moines, there was 50,000 riders or some.
Yeah. So a
I
lot
bet.
of people, and the 85 annual riders is for the week long stuff. So this says that the most they've ever had was in 1988. There's estimated 23,000 riders for one day.
Huh.
And
From
for
Boone to
every
Des Moines.
rider,
Yeah.
for every rider, there's 5 more people that come out and just want to come
Yeah.
for the party and never going to jump
Yep.
on a bike
Okay.
and celebrate it. It's huge.
Okay.
And some people
They take
will,
over
pick
towns.
days.
That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
you always said, that it's like a
Well, yeah, because
locust.
it came through Des Moines last year, and it was chaotic because there was just so many people everywhere. But it's going through the southern part of the state this go around. So
Right.
good old Ottumwa is getting hit.
Oh, really? It's going that
Oh.
far south?
Yep.
Are they going
not
through
really.
what's the name of the town?
Eldon? Yes.
Eldon. They
Yeah.
are going to Eldon.
Yeah, so there's only one restaurant in Eldon, and it's going to get slammed.
Right. Which
Yeah.
are they staying overnight in Ottumwa?
I think so, yeah. I pull up them.
Yeah.
map.
So Eldon's going to be your first or second stop out. So
Mm-hmm.
it'll be a breakfast town. So
Yeah, they do pretty good breakfast at this place. But yeah, it's gonna hit Winterset, Knoxville, Ottumwa, Mount Pleasant. Starts
Speaking
in
of
Glenwood.
breakfast, what's the latest on your breakfast place, Darren?
you know,
How are you coming along? Did you get any responses from people for names and stuff? And
I did get a lot of responses for names, quite a few, actually quite a few good ones. I was getting a lot of text messages about names.
Mm-hmm.
right,
And then my daughter, Sherry's always the namer, right?
right.
And my daughter came up with the idea. She said, "Dad, it's my jam." And
I
I'm
like that.
What? I'm like, she goes, "It's my jam. It's my jam cafe." And she said, "You're always saying breakfast is your jam. It's my jam." Well, then I walk in and I'm like, "Hey, this sticks. Let's start working on the logo. Let's start doing all this stuff for name it. It's your jam." And then I walk in and Alex, the guy that runs the chicken restaurant, he goes, "Don't be jelly. Don't be jelly that it's my jam." So now I think we'll have shirts that have "It's my jam" out in the back. It'll say "Don't be jelly."
There you go.
But by doing
That
that,
makes more sense.
my
When you said-
mind, what?
When you sent the text, "Don't be jelly," I was like, "There's no way he came up with that one on his
Oh
own."
no, I didn't come up with. I don't come up with shit, Emma. I just
That's
listen.
why I was like, "That was pretty clever for Darren." That makes sense.
No, that was Alex. That was Alex came up with that. So then my mind went, okay, now we got to make homemade jam
Right.
to serve at the restaurant,
Yeah.
which is easy enough to do. Matter of fact, I'm practicing today. I'm gonna practice. Go home and practice jamming.
Just jam.
Not
I
a
think you should
thing
have a
wrong with
breakfast
that.
sandwich with jam on it.
Well, yeah, and I think we will do a breakfast or some sort of sandwich that features maybe a spicy jam or something like
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
that. So I take a
Those are all the
liberation.
rage.
Here's my problem.
Mm-hmm.
People usually like grape jelly or strawberry jelly, right?
Right.
Those
right.
are probably the two main, right?
I would agree.
Yeah.
So, and you can do grape jam, but it's like, okay,
What's
I'm
the
not
difference?
sure.
Genuine
I
question.
don't know. Guys should know that. I don't know. Maybe our listeners can tell us. I think
You're
jelly,
opening a restaurant
I
that's
think
in the
jelly,
name and you don't
here's
know.
what I would say. Jelly is made of fruit juice and pectin, right? Which make the juice thick to spread. Jam actually has chunks of fruit in it, in my opinion. So if you have a strawberry, it's like you're crushing up whole strawberries, where if you had strawberry jelly, it's just strawberry juice that you're actually, so there's no seeds or chunks of fruit in jelly, where jam or preserves have chunks of fruit.
Well, and I think, and again, I don't know jack shit, but well, you didn't have to agree with me. But a jam is a jelly rendered down more. Rendered down seems like to me. So what'd you come
What's
up
the
with,
answer,
AI?
Emma?
Yeah.
So Google says the main difference between jam and jelly is that jam is made with fruit, whereas jelly is made with fruit juice.
There you go.
So
Huh.
they have different characteristics. Texture, jam has a semi-firm consistency, and the cooked down fruit lends to a chunkier texture.
There
As
you
jelly
go.
is more of a gelatin.
So the first thing I went to is, okay, I need grape and strawberry. Strawberry jam's easy. I got plenty of friends with recipes, whatever. I'm like, I'll just run these. Grape, a little tougher. I need to play because I don't necessarily want to be dependent upon fresh fruit either.
Right.
right? Whereas
Seasonal.
I can buy frozen strawberries in
Mm-hmm.
and make this jam. So I started having a conversation with our guy that manufactures our cheese sauce, and he's got a
Oh.
big old 90-gallon kettle. And I said, "What's your thoughts on making strawberry jam to my recipe or grape jam?" And he's like, "I think we can make that happen." Well, if we do
Okay.
that, now we're in a kitchen. Now we're in a USDA kitchen. Now all of a sudden we could sell bottles private label of our jam.
Sure.
Oh.
So now, and serve it at the restaurant. So
Sure.
we would serve it and whatever. And so those are the conversations. But overall, had a good week. I had boots on the ground, had one or two staff members in the kitchen at all time learning the cooking, and we're gonna keep a lot of their same staff. We hope to keep a lot of their same staff. But
Good.
it was more about we're trying to design the kitchen to be more efficient, faster, the way Darren does things.
Right.
And so we wanted them in cooking, saying, "Hey, what's slowing us down? What's the problem? What's
Sure. Sure.
what's keeping what's the constraints, if you will, of the current system?" So they've been on there. Like this morning, I got a text that omelets were taking 4 minutes, and this morning they're at 2 minutes and 10 seconds. So trying to improve that process, and it's not working any harder. It's just putting the equipment closer to where they need it. So we're
Okay.
seeing a lot of steps back and forth of, hey, I need something for an omelet, but I need to turn around and get it. Well, we need to make that more efficient, right? And reduce the number of steps, which means that we can throughput more. But they're busy. They announced that they're closing, and huge amount of people not concerned, but just concerned that it would change in a major way, which isn't the case.
Right.
We're just trying to carry on a local breakfast joint. Are we going to put a few little spins on it? Yes.
Sure.
Are we going to try and make a little bit more from scratch? Yes. But it's still going to be the same place. So lots of good feedback from customers. I actually went and had lunch for the first time there. I had a breaded pork tenderloin. And actually went with Emma's mom.
Yes, I heard about
And we had a little lunch date with Sherry. We invited Sherry just so Sherry didn't get jealous, but
Sure.
we were just talking about food service, school lunches and stuff. And so we went through. I mean, it was decent. Took us.
How was the tenderloin?
It was very good. It was very good.
Do they make
Are
them
you
from
gonna-
scratch and everything?
Maybe overcooked. Just she's making them from scratch. Maybe overcooked just a little bit. Nice big thick tenderloin though. I mean 8 ounce
Right.
tenderloin. It was just bigger than the bun, and that's kind of what I want to do it.
Not the
Maybe
monsters.
just a tad. Maybe just no. Maybe just a tad overcooked, but not bad though.
Okay.
Not bad. Very good overall sandwich. Sherry had a burger, which was good. It's not a smash burger. It's a very thick burger. And Amanda, she had an Italian club, which was kind of one of their favorites. Ham, capicola, pepperoni with lettuce.
Sounds good.
And whatever. But overall, good buns, good experience. Took about 18 minutes for lunch to get from the time we ordered. So that needs to speed up a little bit.
Right.
It's all about turning tables.
I was going to say that at that case, what would you get? Maybe 2 tables a lunch hour?
Well, no, there was quite a few.
No.
It's just-
At 18 minutes, you could only turn a table twice during the lunch hour.
Right.
So
Correct.
are you going to keep the pork tenderloin on the menu?
Yeah.
So are you going to change it to your recipe?
No. Well, yes, I think. It depends. I'm not even sure what her recipe is yet. That's
Right.
getting documented. So
Well,
I
I
will
only-
make it different than the Smoky D's tenderloin.
Okay. So that's my question is, do you think now that people will figure out you guys are it's associated with Smoky D's over time. Do you think that could affect its sales if people are like, oh, I'm just going to go and get essentially a Smoky D's tenderloin at
Right,
this
that's
other
why
place?
That's why it's going to be different. I personally People love the Smoky D's tenderloin. We've been doing it for years. I personally want to improve it, but I can't improve it because people love it so much. And if something works and you sell 400 or 500 of these things a week, you don't fuck with it.
Yeah.
Right? Well, this is my chance to fuck with it.
Oh, yeah. I see.
I mean, that makes sense to me.
Down there, you could fuck with it.
I can fuck with it.
Yeah.
So anyway, overall, it's all about process flow. We're still fighting all week long. It's nothing, you got the HVAC company, you got the structural engineer, you got the mechanical engineer, you got the county, all this, even trying to get this thing planned because this HVAC thing. So it's draining. It's draining dealing with these people because nobody wants to say, yep, that'll work. Because as soon as they say, yep, that'll work, and it doesn't work, then they don't want it to be their fault.
Right.
So we're just playing this back and forth. I'm like, come on. And finally, I'm like, okay, everybody in one room, let's make this decision. Let's get it done. What are we doing? Let's go.
And
let's not pretend.
Is it ultimately the city or the county that has the final word on it?
Well, the county as far as what needs to happen.
Right.
But I can put whatever I want in, but they're trying to advise me about doing certain things, about being right or wrong.
Right.
But ultimately, it's my decision. But I've been very good anytime we're talking about something, keeping the county involved so there's no surprise. Hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Do you see a problem with it? No, we don't see a problem with that. Yeah, we see a problem with this. They're all up front. So when it goes time to get the approval by the county, that it should be a slam dunk.
Sure. Instead of having to rebuild the wheel.
What? Did you guys see that?
What?
My computer's doing a weird little thing.
Yeah, I see those bubbles.
You're getting that bubble?
My MacBook. Yeah, I'm using my MacBook. So if you give a thumbs up, it'll do a little thing. But now it's not going to do it now that I'm trying. But I was holding my mic and it popped up and it scared the shit out of me.
I thought maybe you imbibed it a little bit too much THC infused seltzer water yesterday.
Because that was 420
I did
yesterday.
not participate. I do not participate in that.
Yeah. Did you get high, Randy, or no?
No. I'm high on life.
Yeah. Me too.
I'm just fucking high on life.
Me too.
Me 3. This is my mom's birthday. Did you guys wish her happy birthday?
I did.
No.
Randy?
No. I haven't had a chance to have a conversation with her.
It's not that hard to send her a text message.
Well, that's
Should we sing her happy birthday on the podcast? Because she listens to it on the way to work.
No, we should not.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday
to you.
You guys sing it so weird. Just
happy birthday, dear Amanda.
Amanda. Happy birthday
to you. And many more.
That was so weird. It was
Belated.
Yeah.
That's her belated birthday. Singing belated birthday.
That was so
Don't
weird.
tell her, Emma. Don't tell her.
I'm going to tell her to listen.
No.
I said there's going to be...
She always listens.
She doesn't always listen.
Oh.
There were a couple episodes she didn't listen to.
The audio was bad, so she didn't like it.
Or Emma wasn't on it.
Huh.
She has a favorite podcaster.
Okay, what else? So the big thing in the breakfast restaurant is the HVAC system, big pain in the butt, and also deciding what new equipment we're going to tear out the cooking equipment, put new cooking equipment, trying to get as much, fryer and really flat top space. Flat tops are key in the breakfast restaurant, and so that's what we're working on. We're trying to figure out how do we speed up this process and what's it take.
Speaking of flat tops.
I
don't know jack shit about them. Can you kind of enlighten me? And I'm sure I'm not the only one that's just a dumbass about flat tops. There's all these. What's the brand? What's the big brand that everybody has?
Blackstone.
Blackstone. Are Blackstones really worth what they say they are, or can you is one at Walmart? You You see, Walmart carries Blackstones now. Is that the same as I get at the fireplace shop, or?
Yeah, I think it's the same thing. I mean, I think the most important thing, because I'm a big flat top guy. I mean, I would guess 75% of my cooking happens on a flat top now.
Okay.
If it's outside cooking, where it used to be 75% was on the pellet grill,
right,
or a charcoal grill, ever since now the flat top, because, the flat top gives you like instant heat, not instant heat, but very close to instant heat.
Right.
So, it's easy. I can be ready to cook in 5 minutes. But when you're looking for something, don't fall for the knockoff. The problem with the knockoffs, the Blackstone has a pretty good, and I'm going to guess it's 1/8 inch thick metal on it.
Okay.
And so as you get to high heats, if you get to something that feels like it's thin from a metal standpoint,
right,
all it's going to do is buckle. It's going to buckle when it gets, and it's warp. That's a great word for it. It's going to warp. And when you warp that top, what happens is when, let's say you put your eggs on the top, it's going to roll to wherever it warped to. So ultimately you're trying to keep a flat surface. So does that matter in a lot of cooking? No, but especially when you're cooking breakfast, you want a level flat top because, you don't want your eggs rolling towards the grease drain. Then you got to deal with it all the time. Right. So you want to, if it's going to drain, you want it draining more towards maybe the back of the grill or the front of the grill, opposite of where the grease is. But then again, you kind of want to get grease off of it too.
So you're saying the Blackstone's the way to go?
I think Blackstone's good. I have in Florida, I put in a Twin Eagle.
Okay.
Now, Twin Eagle, that's more of a commercial piece. So it's got I think 3/4 inch thick top, where a Blackstone's only going to have, between 1/8 and 1/4, and probably not 1/4. It's a stainless top versus a cast iron top.
Is that a big difference?
I like both of them. The stainless, you got to worry about not, when you're cleaning it up, you don't want to scratch it. The Blackstone is more like a cast iron. Once you get that bitch seasoned, it's golden.
Okay.
I mean,
all right.
So just think about quality. Don't buy the cheap knockoff one. You're not going to be happy.
You're going to end up buying
one. Yeah. But the Blackstone one, like my Blackstone that's on my patio, the igniter lasted about 2 months, just like any other damn gas grill.
Right.
And so, but it's easy enough. I just have a lighter and I turn it on and light it underneath. That's just what you do.
What's the secret to getting one of those? You mentioned seasoned. What's the secret to getting those seasons? I hear people talking about they did this and do that, and it's kind of like you put voodoo weeds on it and stuff like that. What's the main
cooking? So first off, and I have 2 different Blackstones. I had one in Iowa and one in Florida. And the one in Iowa, when I first did it, one or the other, when I did it, I followed the instructions in the book.
Okay.
Right. So it was like, put this high heat oil on it and high heat and burn it, scrape the griddle, run it again, put more oil, scrape the griddle, because you really want that thing to turn black. You don't want it to look nice. You want it to turn black, but you don't want that buildup on it. So if you follow the instructions, it's going to take 2 or 3 hours to season that thing.
Oh, okay.
And once you get it seasoned, then that's a smooth, just like a cast iron. You don't really need non-stick spray or anything.
Oh, you don't?
Once you get it seasoned.
Okay.
But season it correctly the first time. Don't just go like a smoker. What do? I just throw some meat in it and that seasons it.
Right.
Well, Blackstone's not really that way. It'll stick.
Okay.
And so give it a chance. Just follow the instructions.
Read the directions. Read the directions.
Read the direction. If you're getting a Blackstone, I would read the directions.
All right.
Definitely.
So then what would be for me starting out on a flat top, what would be some things that I would want to cook that I'm not going to get pissed off and throw it in the corner because it fucked up?
Well, I think the easiest thing to cook is like a smash burger.
Now, what do you mean by a smash burger?
Well, a burger that you smash on the griddle.
Okay. All right. Just,
so you've seen, every trend and part of it, you go on Instagram or TikTok and all these guys cooking on these fancy, everybody's got a burger place now.
Yeah.
Because you can't fuck up a burger.
Right?
How do you fuck up you can't fuck up a smash burger. I don't know that you can fuck up a smash burger. Now you can fuck up a regular burger, but it's really hard to fuck up a smash burger. But these guys, I swear, they're putting 2 ounces of meat and grinding that thing out where it's just like a waffle lattice pattern of some meat. I don't like it that way. I like to not smash it quite as much. But the whole key to that burger is don't season the griddle. But when you put it on, think about really cold meat and really hot griddle. Okay? So you don't have to spray pan. You don't have to put oil down.
Okay.
The high heat and the cold meat, first of all, cold meat, when you put the spatula, if you got a spatula and set on top and it's hot, and you smash it with that hot spatula on the cold meat, it won't stick. Now, if you have a cold spatula or warm meat that's been sitting outside for 15 minutes while you're waiting for the griddle to go up, when you smash it, it's going to want to stick to that spatula.
Okay.
Now, there's ways to cheat around there. I like to buy the parchment paper, burger paper. You can get them on Amazon. You get like 500 of them. I like to use them. I can take one piece of parchment paper, put it on top the ball of burger and smash it down. And then I just rip it off there and I go to the next one. And you can do 15 of them with one little piece of paper.
Okay.
And it creates that so it doesn't stick to, there's nothing worse than if it sticks to your spatula.
Sure.
Because then it tears your burger apart.
How long would you say you need to leave it on the flat top before you flip it?
Well, so in a smash burger, the rule is when it starts to bleed through the top of the burger. So when you smash down that burger, and you and then you put some seasoning on it, right? You put it on there. When it starts to like get little drips of moisture on top of the burger, the myoglobin or the blood, as people would call it, coming through. When you start to see that, it's time to flip that burger.
Okay.
And then the process is as soon as you flip that burger, it's 3/4 of the way cooked already.
Okay.
So when you flip that burger, the piece of cheese goes on top instantly.
Okay.
So the smash burger process isn't going to take 2 minutes. And it's going to take a lot. It's going to move really quick, right? I mean, if you're trying to cook 12 smash burgers at a time, it's almost tough. You got to have a system. You got to have somebody throwing cheese behind you if you want to do it right. But I don't think you can overcook a smash burger. I don't think you can. They're always juicy. They're just always juicy. I've never had a smash burger that wasn't juicy.
All right. What are some of the
like? Emma's looking at me like, I don't think that's true.
I mean, I don't know. I don't make them. It doesn't. I feel like there's got to be a way to overcook it. And you know who'd be the one to find that out? Me.
Yeah, we actually have a little mini one, Randy, that it's just that we take when we're traveling. That's a little 18-inch one with a lid on it, and it's just got a little 1 pound cylinder,
one of those little
that hooks up to it.
Right
now, they don't last very long, but I mean, or you can buy an adapter to hook it up to a 20-pound propane tank.
Right. Huh.
The one in Florida is hooked up actually to our house propane, so we never have to get a new.
So you're good with that. So.
Jeez.
What's some of the most?
Or find one that. Well, you're on propane anyway. You're on natural gas out on the farm, but
what's some of the most elaborate stuff you've ever cooked on your flat top?
Yeah, That's a good question, Randy.
Elaborate things that I've ever
Yeah.
cooked on the flat
curious.
top. I'm not sure if there's elaborate. We cook a lot of Chinese.
Really?
Okay, fried rice. Yeah.
How the hell do you cook the fried rice on one of those things?
Well, you cook
I
your
mean,
rice
yeah.
ahead of time. You cook your
Okay.
rice ahead of time because you want leftover rice for fried rice,
Okay.
right? And then it's truly simple. It's all in the
Right.
sauces.
Really?
It's all in the sauces. So
Really?
most people start by, if you've ever been to any teppanyaki grill, they're going to cook the egg first, right? They scramble up eggs,
Right.
and
Right.
then they're going to mix it in with the rice and mix it all in and get it hot, and you're just warming it up. And then when they finish it, they're putting like soy sauce and oyster sauce. And I got all these recipes, Randy. That
Okay.
you're finishing off this fried rice. Sesame oil, big thing for fried rice.
Okay.
That's what gives it that nutty, distinct flavor. So, I mean, in almost all Chinese food, you're dealing with either sesame oil, soy sauce. You got oyster sauce, and what's the other? You got fish sauce in a few recipes.
What's the
Trying to
idea of
think
the egg?
and hoisin. Hoisin's the other one.
What's the idea behind
What's
the
the
egg?
idea
It's just
that-
a binder?
No, it ain't even binder. I don't know. It's just a thing. And then a
Do
lot
you
of
do an
people
egg
put
with
peas,
yours?
Veg. I was gonna
peas,
say
and, peas and
peas
carrots.
and
Oh yeah, I put double egg because usually when we do it,
Protein.
the kids are over, and
Uh-huh.
Haley loves a lot of egg in it, and then peas and carrots. Frozen
Little-
peas and carrots
Sure.
gives it a little color, but it's all about the finishing of the sauce. You put the
Interesting.
sauce on, and the sauce is going to turn it brown and whatever. Super easy to make. Super.
Is it pretty
easy to
high
make.
maintenance that you got to be there flipping it constantly like they do in the restaurants? Or
No.
No.
Not at all.
Okay.
You're not going to leave it for an hour. I mean,
No,
anytime
no,
you're cooking
no.
on a flat top, you're cooking. You need to be paying attention.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
need to kind of have your mise in place, if you will.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. What else have you done up?
Yeah.
That's-
So, probably the craziest thing we ever did was we cooked popcorn on it.
Oh, come on. How the hell
like
do you do that?
isn't it? You just put the. Do you just put the kernels on and then you cover it?
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
I've seen
Yeah,
that.
no, we
The
put
flat tops
we
are on my
put-
Instagram reels.
we put popcorn oil down,
Yeah.
the flavored
Right.
popcorn oil. We
Uh-huh.
put that on that thing and then put the popcorn thing and close the lid on it
Uh-huh.
and just waited for it to pop. And you could it's just like listen for it in the microwave or in the Jiffy
Yeah.
Pop or whatever. And it starts popping. And when it starts popping and popping and popping, when it stops to pop, get that lid off and get your spatula and throw that shit off into a pan
Yeah.
as fast as you can. It
Pretty good.
pops everywhere. It makes a damn mess. It's fine. It's more of a novelty than anything. But
Okay.
I
Correct.
tell you what, one thing about it, it sure cleans your griddle.
Oh,
That popping, it cleans the
Oh.
shit out of your
I
griddle.
bet it
If
would.
you didn't want to make a mess with popcorn, it really cleans off that griddle really nice.
I'll be dang.
interesting. Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense.
I'm trying to think of what else we do. I mean,
What do
we
you-
do
yeah.
some Mexican stuff on there. You
Oh
can,
yeah, tacos.
just strips of chicken, tacos, strips of steak.
Sure.
It's just handy. Now is the flavor as good as if you put that chicken or whatever over a charcoal grill?
right.
No. But
Yeah,
the convenience
different.
factor of
Boom.
it's different. It's just different.
Interesting. Like I said, I don't know jack shit about them, and I've always thought about getting one. And
I'm gonna try to make homemade crunch wraps tonight, and I have a griddle top for my stove. Do you think I should
Yeah.
make it in there or in a pan, or make it on that or in a pan?
Yeah, I don't think it matters.
Fair enough.
And you're going to try?
Yeah. So there's a lot of recipes to make homemade crunch wraps from Taco Bell. They're my favorite thing on the menu, for sure.
Yeah.
And I saw a TikToker that I like. He makes meals for his wife, and he did a homemade crunch wrap. But instead
a
of
crunch
doing,
wrap?
so it's like at Taco Bell, it's a tortilla, like you make like a taco essentially, but then they put one of those. I think they put normally like one of those
Tostada.
yeah, tostadas, and then you put you fill it with all of the stuffs like meat, lettuce, cheese, tomatoes, and then you kind of fold the tortilla over, or you put another tortilla on top of it, like a street taco sized tortilla or fajita sized tortilla, and then you fold the bigger tortilla on top, and then you sear it on the griddle or in a pan, and then boom, it's a crunch wrap. I don't know. They're delicious.
Right. So you start with this, like she said,
Yeah.
you put your meat and cheese on the bottom of it. So let's say you got one of them big grande tortillas, because
Yeah.
you want a big tortilla, right? And then you put your meat and cheese on there, and then you put that. And the one thing I like to do that makes it over the top is I like to put like queso.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I think queso's on it.
In with my.
I don't have
in
queso.
with my. I like to
And-
put queso or cheese sauce in with the meat to make it
Okay.
really juicy.
Yeah,
Put that tostada, and then we don't ever put the lettuce and tomato and sour cream. I can't do the sour cream, and nobody seems to like the tomato or lettuce. But you put
Yeah.
that in, then you put another taco in, then you're just folding it 5 times.
Yep.
So imagine 5 times,
And that's called a
but
crunch.
and
then you flip it over and you're searing it shut. And so when you're eating it, you
Yeah.
get, it's like eating a taco, but the outside's crunchy, and then you get the tostada in there, which is really crunchy.
yeah.
Therefore, the crunch
But
wrap, and you can
instead
do
of
that
a
with
toast-
anything.
Yeah, instead of a tostada, I'm doing it with Doritos chips because they
Yeah,
have the Doritos
it'll work.
Locos tacos. Oh yeah, no, I know.
It'll work. It'll work.
I know it'll work.
The only
I've seen
thing,
it that
only
way.
thing, only
I was just
thing
gonna
that
crunch. I mean, I'm gonna crunch them.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I won't be able to fold it right. Like they're gonna have to be flat, so I won't be. So I can fold it right. So I feel like I'm gonna have to crack them because
Yeah,
like
but you
some
don't- but
Doritos
you don't-
bend funny.
but you still want that to
Some of-
kind of protect that lettuce and tomato and stuff. Otherwise, you don't want that juice getting in there. Otherwise, that's going to turn
good
to
point.
shit.
That's a good point.
That's why people use the tostada, because it becomes the insulating layer of the whole thing.
Okay, so I should have bought tostadas. Well, I could do it both, but I get what you're saying.
You could do it. Just make sure they're
It'll be fine.
overlapping. Just pick out the
Or
flat
I might
ones.
not even. Yeah. Or I might not even do the lettuce and tomato. I probably will. Those are my favorite. I like those.
Yeah, but you can always put the lettuce and tomato on. Why put the lettuce and tomato on the heat when you could just put it on the plate and douse it with lettuce, tomato, and salsa?
Yeah, but sometimes I'd like it to just be in one.
I
I
know.
mean, all in one bite. I might end up doing it that way because cooked lettuce tastes weird. But
You guys have got my interest peaked. I've got a guy that he's out here.
you should go to Taco Bell and try this.
Well, and
Crunch
one of the
wrap.
guys that works for me, he works at Taco Bell, so
Yeah.
I could just find out the exact way to do it from him.
You could do like a barbecue crunch wrap.
Yeah, I was going to say, go get your potato casserole or mac and cheese with some brisket or pork in it, and do
Yeah,
the
'cause
same exact
people have
thing.
done 'em
and
with
do a crunch
Chick-fil-A.
wrap.
People have done it with Chick-fil-A, mac and cheese and chicken. I mean, everyone will find a way to put food in a tortilla. It's just kind of where we're at. But yeah, and then my brother likes to combine the two, like the smash burgers and then tacos. He'll do those smash burger tacos.
See, I wasn't a big fan of that.
I haven't been able to try them yet, but I feel like I would like them if you get the tortilla just
It's
crispy
just-
enough.
Yeah, I wasn't. So, Randy, what we're talking about, since you're out of touch,
Right,
is, when I talked
feel like I
about
have a-
putting the ball of meat on the grill and
right.
smashing it down with a piece of paper, instead of
Right.
using a piece of paper, you use a taco shell, a foul iron taco shell. So you
Okay.
smash that hamburger down. You're letting it cook most of the way through,
Right.
and then you flip it over, and so then you've got that burger grease on the griddle that now is kind of making that taco crispy on the outside a little bit, that flour
Right.
tortilla
Right.
crispy. I tried it a couple times, and I think part of my problem was I did it with a low carb tortilla. I love high protein, low carb tortillas. I like them better than regular tortillas.
That's the tortillas I'm going to use.
But you're not gonna like it.
Because it's going to.
You're not.
You don't
gonna
think
like
so?
It. You're not gonna like it.
For the smash burger or the crunch wrap? or both?
Well, you might be able to get by with the Crunch Wrap, but the Smash Burger, you're not gonna like it.
Really? Why? Well,
It just softened up. It never got that crispy. They don't get as crispy as a regular tortilla in that grease.
Huh.
That makes sense.
I think that's the lack of flour in them, you know.
That makes sense.
In the low carb ones.
Yep.
I'll be damned.
I thought I had saved a. Maybe I didn't.
What if a fellow was to go out and buy? What would you say would be the basic things you need to run one of those flat tops?
Yeah, what are some good tools?
Well, so I really like the Blackstone makes their own spatulas. They're longer.
Okay.
I like a long spatula or 2 long spatulas. I also like, you can buy a grill scraper. I kind of prefer, in all the barbecue places, they have those baker's pastry knives, which is really just a stainless steel blade with a thing. I really like that for cleaning up the griddle versus some of these grill scrapers they have. Some of the grill scrapers they have, they're just bad. You could use a putty knife if you wanted. But this, I mean, when you're going to your process after you've cooked, you still want to keep that Blackstone hot. Now, one of 2 ways. You can either flood that griddle, which I'm not a big fan of because you might warp it. So if you're putting cold water on a super hot griddle, you leave potential you could warp that griddle.
Sure.
So one of my favorite is I scrape it, and then I like to get an old crappy white towel, like a hand towel.
Bar rag,
and I
something
like
that.
A bar rag, and I like to put that I like to douse that with water and walk around like the Chinese restaurant, what do I want to say, the Japanese restaurant where you sit in front.
Hibachi grills.
Hibachi grill. The first thing they do is they bring out to clean up that, they scrape off the griddle, and then they put the steam to it. They're in essence steaming it. And then after you're done, let that griddle dry off and then put a little coat of oil. So don't be using vegetable oil there. It's too sticky. It's too whatever.
Okay.
Use a really high heat oil when you're cooking on the griddle for everything. I use grapeseed.
Olive oil? Grapeseed.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I don't like olive oil either. I like grapeseed oil or avocado oil. Oils that have a higher smoke point. You could use peanut oil, I guess, if you wanted. But the other ones, you'll find if you work with olive oil, it will build up a residue on that grill that you're not going to like.
Sure. Oh, okay.
Whereas if you use and grapeseed's my favorite, and you can go into Walmart and get a big old bottle of grapeseed oil pretty cheap.
Sure.
And then also a squeeze bottle with water, because some things that you're going to do, if you want to cook something, whether that's in the restaurant or in your backyard, have one of those lids. They've got like a lid that's like a pot lid.
Yeah.
And it's a steaming lid. So if you want to cook something quick, let's say you want to cook chicken breast, you can sear that chicken breast on one side. When you flip it over, you can squirt some water around that chicken breast and put that lid over the top of it. And it will cook it twice as fast.
Will it really?
Another thing that we do, I don't usually have a lid around, but I use half pans a lot.
Oh,
because I always have half pans around.
Right.
So imagine you want steamed broccoli as your side. You can throw the fresh broccoli out on the griddle, and then let it cook for a little bit, and then throw some water underneath, cover it with a steam pan, put your spatula on top to hold the weight down, and within a matter of a minute or two, you can flip it over and you got steamed broccoli.
I'll be damned.
So you use that as a steamer too. So a lot of people use it to melt cheese or just anything, but if you want to cook something, just that little squirt of water and steaming, that's a restaurant trick from everywhere. Every restaurant griddle has a water bottle.
And one of those pans.
Just about.
Or
a little squirt of water and a lid or a half. I use a half pan.
Sure.
And because then I can turn around and flip it into the half pan and use it as the serving.
Sure. Interesting.
But
Very
yeah,
interesting.
but you definitely want two spatulas because as you're picking up things like fried rice and whatever, you want to be able to put the spatulas together and lift it up,
Kind of lift it up.
or if not, then you lift it to one side and hit the corner of it and lift it up. But
Right.
omelets, we do a lot of omelets on it where you just flood that. You can just put the omelets and spread them out real thin, and cook your meat and veggies, and then spread it over the top, and then just roll it up. A lot of breakfast, lots of breakfast recipes. We always do. We do our toast on there if we're making bagels or English muffin. We always put them down, use it as a toaster on one side, and eggs and bacon. And
I think I'm gonna have to start using my griddle top more.
I may have to buy one.
The problem with the one in the house is it makes a mess.
It
Outside, makes a mess. That's why I have a big griddle top inside, but very rarely do I use it.
Mine's just a
just
little
because
thing.
it splatters grease.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's interesting, because I know I'm interested in it, and I'm sure there's a lot of people listening that have got a flat top. They've used it once, got pissed off, and it's just sitting out on the patio.
Yeah,
And this
look
may
at
be
the
helping
Chinese restaurant. We cook Chinese. We cook Mexican on it. We cook smash burgers. You can cook hot dogs and roll broths.
You can find,
and stuff.
you can find so many
There's a lot of
things to
stuff
cook on
out
it.
there, Emma. A lot of stuff out there.
oh,
It's
yeah.
on YouTube and
Oh yeah, it's
TikTok
one of the.
and stuff.
It's probably one of the most popular ways to cook nowadays.
Okay.
I think.
And I would
I
say
feel
the
like-
other thing is if you're cooking stuff, let's say you're cooking breakfast, it's better to have a wider griddle, especially breakfast. So you get one of the wider ones because you can never have too big of a flat top. But I'll be cooking bacon and then I'll keep this side on really warm, not hot.
Okay.
So then you can move your bacon off to the side. As stuff gets done, now all of a sudden it's staying warm on top of the griddle. Or
Sure.
hash
Yeah.
browns. Hash browns take a while to cook. Once they get cooked, then you can flip them off to the side and kind of leave them warm over there on top of the griddle
Sure.
while
Sure.
you're cooking other stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So don't get one of the small,
like
short
it.
ones. Get one that's got a wider.
I would get if you're going to get it, it's not that much more expensive. I'd get that 28-inch.
Commit.
Traeger came out with one too. It's weird. Traeger's a pellet company. They come out with one that's pretty high. It's pretty high tech too. That I've heard some good reviews about. Just don't go buy a cheap one. There's like the Blue Rhino brand I've seen. I don't think they're going to be, it just didn't look like the quality. Just make sure especially that top has quality. But a good Blackstone, we let ours sit outside. It's under a canopy, but hell, it's 5 years old now and still works every single time.
I'll be damned.
Interesting.
Yep.
Well, yeah. Randy, you got anything else?
I don't have anything else. I think
We'll just hit over an hour.
So
Yeah. I agree. I'd be interested. If anybody tries any of these things, tag us in it. I want to see you do it.
yeah,
I
it'd be
won't.
interesting to see some of the stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
We should get Darren to start posting a flat top series, so all the stuff he makes.
A flat top series of stuff
Mm-hmm.
I make.
Yeah. Just get your
Okay, I'll
social
have to-
media presence up there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, half the time I'm so
You'll
hungry.
listen.
By the time I I forget to take a picture of it.
I know the
Fair
feeling.
enough.
It's like
I'll
eating
blame
the
you there.
goddamn
I made homemade chicken enchiladas last night with
Ooh.
Spanish rice and black beans,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like top notch. I've been working on my Spanish rice. I make it different every single time,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
and I'm a big Instant Pot guy when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
rice.
Right.
And Sherry's like, "Hey, what's up? This rice is really good today." Well, because I didn't use water, I used chicken stock. I really spent a lot of time. I put a lot of oil in it and sauteed it in the bottom a lot with the onions to start. And then I used tomato sauce, but I also put cumin and garlic powder and jalapeno salt in it and mixed that up. And it was really good. It was top notch. And if Emma was still working here, I would have brought her leftovers because I had
You could
4 or 5 things.
You could always
with
still
leftovers.
bring me leftovers.
Yeah,
That's
a long
doable.
way to go clear on the south side.
Well, just give them to my mom. They'll make it to me, I'm sure. But anyway,
Okay.
All right.
well, I think that's it. If you guys haven't already, follow us on social media at Cue the Mic Pod, or find us on YouTube at Cue the Mic Podcast. Leave us comments, send us messages, like, subscribe, do all the things. But other than that, I think that is it.
Tell a friend.
Yeah.
Tell a friend.
Yeah, do. We love listeners. Download episodes so we can see how many of you guys are out there.
Too early.
There goes
We'll get our
that,
time.
Randy.
Premature.
That was a really bad premature boom.
Boom.
Yeah.
But anyway, now Randy,
give you
take
one-
it away.
Randy, we're going to give you one more time.
Boom. Done. Over with. And do a click.
Out.
Hey.
That one.
Out. Oh, click.
Jesus. Okay.
Boom,
That was
done.
All the
episode
cool
50.
kids got him. All the cool kids got him.
That's
Okay.
exactly
That
right.
was episode 53 of Cue the Mic. We'll see you guys next week.